Welcome to the Learn True Health podcast. I'm your host, Ashley James. This is episode 51. Well, my next guest is a bit of a Brad-ass.
Yeah.
Bradley Jarryd was a former fat kid turned supermodel. When I say Brad-ass because that's who he is on Instagram and all the social media, his branding, because his name's Bradley and he's become a bit of a badass through nutrition and through smoothies of all things, and then you became a NASM Certified Personal Trainer and Health Coach. So welcome to the show. I'm really looking forward for you to teach us how we can improve our health through the delicious adventures of smoothies.
Hey, Ashley, thank you so much for having me on. And absolutely, it has to be delicious or people won't do it, including myself. So there's a lot of really healthy but delicious smoothies out there. I can't wait to share with you.
Yeah, awesome. Terrific. Well, first, tell us your story. So you went from, and I've seen your modeling photos on your website. You can go to thebradass.com. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Bradass. The Badass, just throw in an R, thebradass.com. And you could also read my story. But basically, as a kid, I was as unhealthy as you get. My parents fed me 4 to 5 sodas a day, Dr. Pepper, Sprite. And I didn't drink water until I was around 12 or 13. As in, I would not sip water because there was always soda or Gatorade, which you think is healthy because, hey, athletes use Gatorade. I see the commercials. But when you're sitting on the couch watching basketball, that's not the same. So I drink a lot of calories. I would be eating brownies, a lot of garlic bread, just, maybe one vegetable a day if it was covered in cheese. That bad. And so, as a kid, of course, when you're eating this unhealthy, you're chubby, you're not as cool as other kids, and you always wanted to be in that clique. You always wanted to be around girls or have them give you attention. And it just didn't happen. And finally, in high school, I learned more about nutrition. I started working at Smoothie King, which I just fell into. I learned more about nutrition, working out, and slowly but surely transformed my life. Started losing weight. And of course, with that self-improvement came, let me get more social skills. Let me research how to talk to girls, how to speak better, how to relate to people. And by the end of high school, I was pretty much a new person, and that continued all the way through college.
Awesome. So you were doing smoothies early on.
It was my second ever job. So 16 years old, I got a job at Smoothie King, which is a really big chain here in the States and especially in Florida. And so when I would go in there, we'd have all these smoothies you can make, strawberry banana and chocolate peanut butter and pina colada, everything. The catch is that 95% of them are horrible for you. But when bodybuilders would come in, when physique models would come in, and they would order specific smoothies, I would say, well, why did you want the strawberry strain? And, you think about it, strawberries naturally don't come in syrup. But at Smoothie King, it was a couple strawberries in this giant soup of heavy syrup. And they would say, oh, I don't want all that sugar. So if you could just strain the strawberries and then just put half a banana and just protein, none of the other powders, none of that. I would ask why. And I'd get more knowledge from that and learn how to make healthy smoothies, but also ones that tasted great rather than these milkshakes that they just called healthy smoothies.
Right. I haven't heard of Smoothie King being up in the Pacific Northwest, but we have like Jamba Juice here. And
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's all syrup. It's all sugary syrups. And so you looked at the people who were living proof of health, and then you were following and modeling what they were doing, and you got your results. And now you help other people get their results. So tell us a bit more about what it's like to be you. What do you do? How do you help people?
Let's see. Well, for one, I live here in Los Angeles, which is amazing, and you're around healthy, fit people, which is very inspiring. But the way I help people right now is mostly Skype-based, mostly Facebook-based, and people all across the country and some up in Canada as well. People that are just really busy, just have a family, have kids, and they don't have time. And that's why I relate to them so much, because I'm like, look, if you make a smoothie, you're cutting out so much cooking time. You could take it with you. You could do all these things. So I work with people on a lifestyle basis, really where they're at in life and what their biggest hurdles are. Because there was a time in life where I'm in college and I'm working a job, I'm studying for finals, and anyone could say, you know what, I just want to have McDonald's. I just want to, I'm stressed out with all of these other things going on. I just really want a big piece of cake. And instead of helping the situation, you're only hurting yourself. So I've been able to health coach people one-on-one and help people find a lifestyle that works for them long-term. Not just, all right, great, you lost 20 pounds and on your way. It's finding that lifestyle that they're happy with. Not just, all right, well, I lost the weight, but it's a chore, or I really don't look forward to lunch or dinner or my exercise routine, what's the point of that?
Do you primarily work with people who want to lose weight, or do people come to you for other to improve other areas of their health?
It's primarily weight loss, just because that was my struggle and that's what I'm most familiar with. But definitely people that want to quit alcohol or to overall improve their life. Because, when you study fitness and you realize, wow, this is so great, my life's improving, then you start thinking, well, how can I also be more productive, or how can I feel more energized? So when you help people find a good a healthy lifestyle, then all of a sudden they're also getting more energy. So most of them come for weight loss, but then leave with also more energy and a healthier outlook on life, more confidence, and everything like that.
I love it. Okay, so walk us through it. All of our listeners, and myself included, we're sitting across the table from you, and we want you to walk us through how we can improve our health and get to a healthy weight and gain more energy. What would you tell us to do?
I know it's cliche, but you really need to look at your whole lifestyle. I would say take a couple hours, just you and yourself, and write down your daily routine. Write down what time you wake up, what you do every hour, what foods you eat, everything. And then when you put it on paper, you'll look at it and say, wow, there's 2 hours where I'm literally just watching TV. I'm literally watching TV for 2 hours, or I'm eating this horrible lunch. I have a great breakfast, but man, every lunch I'm having, takeout, this really unhealthy takeout. And when you focus on that, then you can really pinpoint the areas that are your strengths and your weaknesses. And so just looking at your day and then looking at any weekly routines will really find out where you need to tweak. And so I like starting there, because most people have some things in order. A lot of things like, well, you're going to the gym consistently, you enjoy it, but you're still gaining weight. What is it? Is it lack of sleep? Okay, I'm only sleeping 4 hours this night, 6 hours that night. I'm overeating on the days that I'm getting less sleep. Or my workouts are very weak the following day. And when you look at that, then you can really identify the problem. Because a lot of people don't really know the exact problem. They just know they need to get in better shape or have more energy, but aren't figuring out why.
I love what you said, because I noticed that too, that on days that I don't get enough sleep, I am way more hungry, and I absolutely go over my caloric, uh, allotment, yeah.
Yeah.
I just noticed that on days that I'm like 4 hours of sleep, I am like twice as hungry. And as you were talking, I was thinking about, that 2 hours of TV watching, I could trade that out, go to bed earlier, wake up earlier, and then be able to have more time to prepare healthier meals. Because my problem is, and I think this is a lot of people's problems, is I can start the day off great, but then I don't put enough time in the middle of the day or near dinner time to cook healthy meals or make smoothies, which I hope you can teach us all how to do.
Oh yeah.
And then it's 9:30 at night. I haven't eaten dinner. I'm trying to get the kid to bed and I'm exhausted and hungry and I'm just going to like eat whatever is fast. And then of course that ends up usually not being something healthy.
Right.
So there's that. If I were to schedule time, I'd be able to make healthier choices. And I love the idea of smoothies for those fast meals. Actually, I started making smoothies for my toddler back when he was 6 months old. I wanted to be able to get vegetables into him, and so I'd make kale avocado smoothies, and
Oh
he
yeah.
loved
Yep.
them. And he's 16 months old now. He will eat raw kale. He loves the taste of vegetables, and so I got him started on smoothies, which allowed him to develop a taste and an appreciation for vegetables.
Well, I'll tell you, Ashley, I wish my mom did something like what you're doing with your child because for him to crave vegetables or at least uh, like them to the point where, yes, I'll drink this smoothie and you're getting a lot of kale, you're getting healthy fats and avocado, but it tastes good, that's a win-win. And the idea of cheating vegetables into smoothies and having it still taste good is one of the best things you can do because a lot of times when you eat out at lunch, it's either salad or that's it. There's no real vegetables. It's not like you'd have to get a steak to get a side of steamed broccoli. But when you eat out, who wants a side of steamed broccoli when there's French fries or baked potato or all this? But specifically smoothies, if you can make it taste good, which you can, and add spinach or kale, it's a win-win. You're getting your vegetables without having to sacrifice the taste.
So, how many smoothies a day do you recommend a client do? Is it something that you want them to replace all their meals, or just one of their meals,
Um,
or
it's
what's your
yeah.
recommendation?
Look, yeah. People ask me all the time. So, do you just drink smoothies? I'm like, no, no, absolutely not. I love food. Food's great, but I'll have one smoothie a day just because it saves so much time. It's a good source of protein I can put in my vegetables, and I can take it with me on the go. And that's a really big thing because here in Los Angeles, everyone has a crazy schedule. Everyone's stuck in traffic all day long. And if you were to go and get a smoothie out at one of the smoothie bars here, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with the prices of Los Angeles, Ashley, but the healthy smoothie bars here are around $11 or $12 for a 20-ounce drink.
Wow, it
That's
sounds like a
insane.
Starbucks habit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But imagine twice the price of Starbucks for the 20 ounce. And for a lot of women, the 20 ounce is fine. But for me, I easily crush a 40 ounce, which was the large size at Smoothie King. That's the meal replacement size. So spending $22 or $23
Wow.
on a smoothie to fill you up for lunch for a guy, because I'm a taller guy, I'm 6'2", but that's unheard of. Who wants to spend that much money? So when you can make it yourself, you save the time, you know exactly what's going in. You could take it on the run, put it in a thermos, and it lasts you 6 hours, 7 hours. So in the morning you make it, and then lunchtime or even after, it's still in the perfect consistency that you made it in. And it costs $2, $3. That's amazing. And then you could throw in vegetables and still have enough fruits or other complementary flavors that it tastes great. That's why I'm a huge advocate. So one a day is great, just because there's so many varieties too. Pina colada, you can make a healthy pina colada smoothie. Make a healthy chocolate peanut butter smoothie, which tastes like Reese's. Strawberry banana, spinach and kale, or kale and avocado, or spinach. So it won't get old because you can always throw in something new.
So, do you look at macros like when you're developing a recipe? Do you go, okay, I definitely want to have this much protein and this much fat, or you just have certain ingredients that you want together? Like, how do you look at it nutritionally?
For me, I do count my macros because I have specific goals for myself. But a smoothie, for example, it'll just have a template. I have a template for making a healthy smoothie and what I define as healthy. And so for me, it's a base that's not, it's typically not fruit juice because fruit juice is mostly sugar, but once in a while I'll use fruit juice if it's after a big workout and I know my body could use the sugar. But typically unsweetened almond milk is my go-to. It's simple. You could have it in the fridge. You can buy the cartons that will last in your cupboard. It's 30 to 40 calories a cup, and it tastes good, easy. Then it depends on what flavors you want to use. Sometimes I'll go with low carb, which is more chocolate peanut butter or avocado spinach, and I'll keep out the sugary fruits. While other times, after a workout especially, I don't mind having pineapple or banana. But I do pay attention because I'm not going to have a very sugary smoothie on an off day where my body doesn't need all that sugar. I'll adjust. One of my favorite smoothies is actually with sweet potato, which I'll do on a workout day or an off day just because it's a slow digesting carb. It's full of fiber because you're still putting in the sweet potato skin in there. And sweet potato is just one of these ingredients that no one uses for smoothies, but it's one of the best things you can do. It's
like
dirt cheap.
raw? Is it raw sweet potato?
I should mention, yeah, you cook it first.
Okay.
You cook it. Cook about a week's worth and throw it in the fridge. If you want to warm some up and eat it throughout the week, that's great. But they're also amazing in a smoothie because have you ever had a sweet potato pie?
Oh yeah.
It's good, right? It's cold, but it works.
Yeah, no, sweet potato is delicious. I mean, I would have never thought of a sweet potato smoothie. What else do you put in a sweet potato smoothie?
There are a few variations. So definitely the almond milk, the sweet potato. I always put protein in my smoothies. Now for me, I want something filling, and protein is the lowest calorie macronutrient. So carbs and protein have 4 calories per gram, but your body burns more energy digesting protein than carbs. So I've heard it's actually closer to 3.2 calories per gram, making it the lowest calorie macronutrient. Of course, protein's also great for building muscle, for saving muscle when you're dieting, and also keeping full. Because if you have a 400 calorie smoothie, but it's not filling and you treat it more as a drink, and then you're still having your meal, then what's the point? So I'll always have at least 25 grams of protein for me, but some clients will have a bit less, around 20 grams, because they're smaller or they have different goals. Always a protein source, whether it's vegan protein, a high quality whey isolate protein, or even tofu. If you have a GMO-free soy, tofu is actually it's much better in a smoothie than cooked.
Wow.
If you like tofu, then cooked, then that's one thing. But for me, it's just a weird, tasteless substance. I don't know what it is. It's just this tasteless substance. But you throw it in a smoothie with whatever flavor, and all of a sudden it just thickens it up, makes it filling, adds that protein, and it takes on the flavor that you combine it with. But a rule of thumb for me is always 20 grams of protein or more.
Excellent. So do you lean more towards whey, or do you lean more towards the vegan sources, or you can go either way?
I have both, and I'm waiting for vegan protein to taste better. Here's the thing. When it comes to smoothies, it's really tough because whey isolate, I use whey isolate versus concentrate, and concentrate is a lower quality form of whey protein. Isolate is pure. It's over 90% protein, so less fillers. So I'll use that because it tastes creamier. It doesn't have the graininess that most vegan proteins have. And only a few vegan proteins I've tried don't have the graininess, but it's because it has other questionable ingredients. Like there's one that has a couple weird oils or different ingredients that just takes away the graininess. And I was just like, I don't know if I want that in me. So I'm trying to convert. I'm trying. And if you know any great vegan proteins, I've tried so many, but I'd love to try another one because that is way better for the environment and for animal rights, which I'm learning more and more about how horrible some of these treatments are. So I use both, but taste, I always go with whey.
So I'm dairy free. It's just I love dairy, but dairy doesn't love me. And
That's
so I've
unfortunate.
had to sort of resort to vegan protein powders, and I just found one the other day that I really really like. It's by Garden of Life, and I'm not remembering the name of it right now. It's a newer one, but I got the flavor is called smooth vanilla. So if you can like find like a Garden of Life and it's smooth vanilla, it's
You know what?
so
I'm writing that down right now.
yeah, I'd love to know your opinion on it, but I looked at the ingredients. I was really impressed. It even has enzymes in it, and my toddler loves it. And I have a vegan friend who is staying with me, and she loves it, and so she approved it. Sweetened with stevia, the whole bit. But it was great because it had like a bunch of different kinds of vegan proteins brought together. It wasn't just like pumpkin seed or hemp. It was like five different kinds. Um,
And that's important
yeah,
for vegan proteins too, just because individual pea protein or rice protein isn't complete. But when you combine it like that, it becomes a complete protein, which is a lot of times what plant proteins get a bad rap for. Oh, it's not complete. But I see here, I'm actually looking at the ingredients right now: pea protein, flaxseed, cranberry seed, let's see, chia seed,
that's the
pumpkin
one.
seed. Yeah, there's a lot, and there's a lot of organic stuff too, which is great. But
Hmm.
in fact, everything looks organic.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's actually really delicious. Don't get the chocolate one though. I got the chocolate one and the vanilla one. I
Mhm.
wasn't impressed by the chocolate one. But yeah, the smooth vanilla I really liked, and like I said, so did my toddler.
Good.
So
Well,
yeah, it's delicious. But I've loved whey protein in the past. It's just I kept noticing that my body was reacting because I'm allergic to dairy. Um, so
actually,
so
I was going to ask you really quick. Did you have a whey isolate or a whey concentrate? Because with the whey concentrates, you get a lot more lactose, while the whey isolate is lactose free.
Really? See, I did
Yes.
not know that. Oh, I'm
Yep.
learning everything today.
And,
So whey isolate is free of lactose.
yep. It's free of lactose. It has like essentially zero. That's the way it says. Essentially zero, and a lot of them will advertise zero. People that I've worked with that have bloating or gas or just feel weird with regular whey protein will try the whey isolate and feel fine and be like, wow, this is so much better. What's the difference? And it's because it's filtered so much better that you're just getting the protein, all the lactose is left out. And yeah, that's what I use too, just because I'm okay with dairy, but to the point where if I have too much of it, then I get bloated, then I get gassy, and no one wants to be around me when
Yeah,
that happens.
exactly. So do you have a particular brand you recommend, or do you have several brands you really like?
Yeah, there are a few. I've tried a ton, but there's one that I use now for a lot of reasons. It's Now, you know the brand Now.
Hmm.
You've seen it on all the supplements. It's Now Whey Isolate Unflavored, and I love it. And I don't get paid anything from it. I love it. I wish I did. I love it because it's two ingredients. It's whey protein isolate, and then soy lecithin, which is an emulsifier, and there's less than 1% of it. And when I researched soy lecithin, it actually isn't bad for you. It's not like it's loaded with soy. It's a very small percent just to keep the powder in the powder form. So you're not
Hmm.
scooping up these giant icebergs of goop. So it's very, and it's affordable too. For a 5 pound tub, I pay around $60 on Amazon. So per pound, that's what, $12 a pound or so. It's 11, $12 a pound, which is very reasonable. And the taste isn't the best because there's no artificial flavors. It's not like cake batter protein and popcorn flavored protein. Some of these crazy flavors you see out there, it's unflavored, but then you can add cinnamon, you can add instant coffee, you can add vanilla extract, whatever it is you want, and at least know that you're controlling the other ingredients. And another one last thing you said when you mentioned don't try the chocolate protein. I never buy any flavored protein because then I'm tied to that flavor. While vanilla protein or unflavored protein, I could always add in cacao or unsweetened cocoa powder and make my own chocolate protein. but you're tying yourself down if you get a one flavored protein, because chocolate protein isn't going to taste very good with, let's say, pineapple or mango or a lot of flavors out there.
I love it. I love it. So you mentioned coffee. Do you have some recipes for the a morning
Okay.
like coffee infused smoothie?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So my second ever job was at Smoothie King, but my fourth or fifth ever job was a barista at Starbucks for 2 years. So I got addicted to smoothies, and then I got addicted to coffee and frappuccinos. So coffee is definitely in my daily routine. And what I recommend is always have an instant coffee if you don't feel like brewing coffee and letting it chill. Because if you want a coffee smoothie right away and you don't have instant coffee, then you're going to have to brew coffee and somehow get it so cold that it won't just melt the ice. So either have coffee the day before, or you can get the cold brewed kind. Get a chill coffee the night before, keep it overnight, and then in the morning add it as your base. So you can have 8 ounces of coffee instead of 8 ounces of almond milk. Add your protein, either vanilla, or you can do vanilla, add some chocolate powder. Banana goes great as well. Half a banana to a whole ripe banana. Sweet potato is really good as well. Think of sweet potato kind of like a slower digesting banana. It goes with the same array of flavors for the most part. So let's say coffee, cinnamon, a tablespoon of stevia. Let's see, I forgot if I mentioned protein. Let's go with banana, a scoop of almond butter or peanut butter, and a little vanilla extract, or I have this little maple extract, and ice, and it's that simple. And if you wanted a mocha, add some more chocolate, unsweetened chocolate powder or cacao nibs. If you wanted a hazelnut one, then you can't really get a healthy hazelnut flavoring. It would be an artificially flavored one. But if you're looking to cut calories, get one of these Splenda, or if you can find a stevia flavored, stevia sweetened hazelnut flavoring, then that would be great. But you can take it in any direction you want. So either instant coffee or chill the coffee overnight. But besides that, or a cold brew. But absolutely, you can have it in so many different ways. And you don't have to spend all the money on an unhealthy frappuccino, which doesn't have the protein, which is loaded with sugar, which is loaded with cream. And you can have it in 5 minutes instead of waiting in line, too.
I love it. So what kind of blender do you recommend people get?
Okay, so this is funny, actually, because everyone asks me, oh, so you have a Vitamix, right? You have a Vitamix. I've never had a Vitamix except for when I worked at Smoothie King and a couple of other smoothie bars. And I'll say that they're amazing. The Vitamixes are amazing. But I've always had these middle line $50 to $60 blenders that you get at any department store, a Walmart or a Best Buy. And it's an Oster or a Hamilton Beach or something. And what's so funny is my favorite blender I've ever had was this Oster blender. And I forgot the exact name, but if you search Oster reversing motor, you'll find the blender, because what's great about it is that you press the smoothie button and it'll blend, let's say, clockwise for a few seconds. Then it'll stop and let all the ingredients settle down. Because you know how a lot of times you make a smoothie and all the ingredients on the top just stay there while the bottom ones blend fine. This one will stop, reverse directions, and so it works all the ingredients down to the bottom. And then you get the perfect smoothie 9 out of 10 times with a $50 or $60 blender. But having said all this, when I moved to Los Angeles, I had to leave that behind, and I got this temporary little Hamilton Beach blender, which did I say bleach? Hamilton Beach blender, and it's about $30, and it's weak. It's really weak, to the point where you smell the motor burning. Yeah, almost every smoothie. So I just found a great deal on a Vitamix, a refurbished Vitamix, and I bought it 2 days ago, and it'll be here in the next week or so, and I'm so excited.
Very cool. I actually grew up with a Vitamix back when it was all stainless steel. And gosh, this must have been late 80s, early 90s. I mean, it was like I was young, and we made soups in it because you can turn a Vitamix on for 10 minutes and it's boiling water. And so we'd make soups in it and all
Really?
kinds
Wait,
of
wait.
stuff.
You
Yeah,
can
I
turn it
loved it.
on and it'll boil water from the speed? Are you saying
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
The
God.
Vitamix will. I don't know what power motor you got, but back the original Vitamix, you could. I grew up on soy milk. Of course, this is before GMO, and because my house was dairy free, and so I'd put like raw mushrooms, raw garlic, raw onion, salt, and soy milk into the Vitamix and close the lid, turn it on, and 10 minutes later I'd have boiling soup.
Wow.
Yeah, you
I've
should look
never
it
even
up, like
heard of that.
soup, like boil soup with Vitamix. Just like go Google it. But yeah, you can cook with a Vitamix. It was pretty cool. But I was disappointed with the Vitamixes nowadays. I took one home from Costco and returned it. I found that my Ninja, which was like half the price at Costco, did the same thing. So there is a difference in the motor side, or the horsepower, depending on which Vitamix you get. But I am in love with, I gotta tell you, my magic bullet.
Okay, yeah.
You so if you ever get a chance to try a bullet, do it, because that's what I've been making all of our smoothies, and all the my toddler smoothies out of, and I've been very impressed with it. But I know that you will absolutely love your refurbished Vitamix. It's definitely an experience.
People say my life will change. And I'm
Yes.
like, come on now, when life changes, that's a bit much for a blender. And then now you're telling me I can make soup
Yes.
in it
Yeah.
without even heating up anything. And then
Yeah.
people tell me these ice cream recipes and these I can make almond flour. Just keep
Yeah.
blending almonds and it's straight up a flour. And I'm like, this is wild.
Yes, you could. Yeah, I did that. I made nut flours with my Vitamix, and you can also make your own almond milk with a Vitamix. Yeah, you just throw a handful of almonds in water and then blend it, and then you need cheesecloth to strain it. But yeah, you can absolutely. It is pretty phenomenal what you can do with the Vitamix. Next time you go to Costco and they have a Vitamix presentation, you should just stand there for like 20 minutes and ask the guy questions, because they could do a lot more than make smoothies. But back to smoothies. What is your favorite smoothie that you make?
I have, see, on my Instagram, I make a lot of different smoothies, but it's mostly just to force myself out of my comfort zone. Well, really, I have 4 or 5 go-to smoothies, and one is coffee-based. One will be almond milk, instant coffee, a scoop to a scoop and a half of whey isolate, and just to help it blend, I'll also either throw in banana or sweet potato or cottage cheese. Even if someone out there likes dairy and it tolerates dairy, but doesn't like the taste of cottage cheese, it is amazing in a smoothie because you don't get the texture. If the texture creeps you out, it's amazing in a smoothie because it's all protein, very low fat, and very low carb, and it just adds that creaminess. So I'll throw in cottage cheese from time to time, and of course stevia is my go-to sweetener. And then I'll always throw in cinnamon if it's with a coffee. And it's just, if I'm feeling like cocoa, I'll do that. But that's one of my favorites. And let's see, pina colada is great too.
Okay, how do we make a pina colada smoothie?
Okay, so again, you start with a liquid base. So let's say 8 ounces of unsweetened coconut milk. If you don't have, I'd say coconut milk first. But if you have almond milk only, then that's fine. Throw in half a cup of unsweetened shredded organic coconut, about a cup of just pineapple chunks, frozen pineapple chunks or fresh pineapple chunks, but you don't want anything soaking in sugar water. Throw that in a scoop of protein. See, that's something you definitely don't want to just have chocolate protein, because now you have a chocolate pina colada, which I don't know. It just maybe that works, but I don't even want to try it. So just get unflavored or vanilla protein. Throw that in there. And then a tablespoon or so of stevia. And then you could throw in some spinach if you want. I usually don't want to alter the pina colada flavor with spinach, even though that would be my favorite vegetable because it's the mildest tasting. And then bit of vanilla extract, ice, a couple ice cubes, 4 to 6 ice cubes, and give that a shot. Of course, if you want it sweeter, you could add a bit more pineapple, you could add a bit more stevia. If you want it thicker, then you can, what I do sometimes, I have coconut milk, and I'll freeze my coconut milk in an ice tray. And so instead of just watering it down with more ice, I'll throw in the ice cubes of coconut milk, and that'll make it creamier as well. But it's more of a template. Like, you know, it's like a real chef. You just kind of throw things in there and you blend it up, put your finger in, take a sip, or lick it off, and then a tad bit more stevia or a tad bit more of this or that. But that's the template I would use for a pina colada. Let's see, a peanut butter jelly sandwich smoothie is amazing as well.
Okay, well, I want to get to that one, but first I have a question about the pina colada. You said coconut? Like, is it coconut, like coconut flakes, or what kind of coconut are you referring to it?
Yeah, so the coconut that I put in there, I could put in coconut water as a base if I have it, but sometimes I don't, so almond milk is fine. But as for the actual coconut, yeah, I use a half cup of the unsweetened coconut flakes, the shredded up coconut.
Oh, so like dehydrated flakes.
It's the organic unsweetened coconut flakes that I get at Trader Joe's, which is just, it lasts for 6 months in the pantry, or it comes in the freezer as well. I know some places have it frozen as well, but just a half cup of that, so you don't have to buy a coconut, crack it open if you don't have the time.
Right.
I mean, the point is to save time as well, not just save money or make something healthy, but I don't got time for that.
It is a perfect trifecta, because it's saving you time, it's saving you money, it's helping you lose weight. I mean, I love it, and it's healthy.
Yeah,
Four
and
things.
you could take it with you, and you could drive with it. You don't want to drive and be eating a salad. I wouldn't want to be near you on the road. But if you have a thermos and you're taking a sip in between, you're taking a sip, you're looking at the road, that's okay. There's so many times that you want to feel full from a meal, but you don't have the time to actually focus on eating because something else is coming up. And yeah, it's something to do with our society and how busy we are and how stressed we are. But if we can save a bit of time in the kitchen, a bit of time cleaning up, because now you don't have pots and pans, you just have one blender that you either throw in the dishwasher, or me, I'm a 20-something guy, I just rinse it out briefly and look in it and say good enough and throw it back up there. That's 30 seconds of rinsing rather than a whole 10 minutes of cleaning up. So,
right. I love it.
And you got to save time. You got to save all these things.
And I'm thinking about the difference between juicing and smoothies, because I know there's this very big movement, very dedicated, passionate juicing people out there. And my whole problem with juicing has been the lack of protein, because I'm O blood type. If I don't have protein, I feel dizzy. I have to have it. And then juicing just takes forever. Like, I've done juice fasts, a bunch of them, and I feel good, but it's like it takes a half an hour, because you have to like cut up all the vegetables, you have to put it through the juicer, then you have to clean the juicer. I mean, it's just like insane. Oh, yeah. And then of course you have to like do that 20 times a day. It's not like eating 3 meals, because when you're on a juice fast, you're juicing like all day long.
It's expensive too. If you buy the juices out, it's like $11 here in LA. It's $9 to $13, somewhere in that range, depending on the combination you get for a juice that isn't filling. If it's a cleanse and that's all you can have, that's one thing. But people get it as a snack. I'm thinking, what, $10 for something without any protein, without any fiber in it?
Right. And so like, give us the, because you are a certified personal trainer and health coach, and you have this deep understanding of nutrition, give us sort of the pros and cons, juicing versus smoothies.
Okay. Of course, I'm all into smoothies because it's filling. Juices for me is like drinking a glass of water or a glass of milk or something where I take it in and I'm still hungry for my meal. I haven't gotten any protein. It's just something that could go with my meal just fine if I had an extra $13 to spend on my drink. But it has a lot of nutrients, which is great. It has a lot of vegetables, which is great. But if you get these store-bought juices, you also have to look out for the sugar content, because a lot of them it'll be green in color because they'll throw in kale or throw in spinach, but it'll taste great because it's mostly juiced fruits. And it'll have 50 grams of sugar in this little juice, but you think it's healthy because it says juice, it says nature, or it says organic, and it's green. So again, you're not going to get fiber. You're not going to get protein. If it's store-bought, you have to look out for juiced fruits, which is horrible because now you're just getting the sugar without the benefits. Juiced vegetables are way better because at least you're getting low sugar, high antioxidant, high nutrient foods. But I mean, I never would recommend juicing over smoothies unless it's a cleanse you're doing and it's a certain protocol that you need to do just to flush your system. But on a day-to-day basis, you're having the calories, you're having the sugar without any protein, without any fiber, and then you're still going to be hungry. So what's the point? Throw in spinach in a smoothie. Throw in carrots in a smoothie. I don't like doing broccoli in a smoothie, but if you want to do that, go for it. But either way, you can get a lot of nutrients and vitamins with also the protein, the fiber, and saving you money and being full with the smoothie. So hands down, smoothies are better.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. Teach us how to make a peanut butter and jelly smoothie.
Okay. Peanut butter jelly smoothie. If you're not from the US, this might sound like a crazy combination, but that is the ultimate kid sandwich you had. So you start off with, let's say, unsweetened almond milk, vanilla or plain, doesn't matter. Let's go with 8 ounces. 2 tablespoons of organic, crunchy or creamy peanut butter, whichever one you prefer. A scoop of vanilla protein, of course. I'll do 1.5 to 2 scoops because I'm a big guy and this is a bigger meal for me, but 1 scoop should be fine. 1.5 cups of strawberries. Now, if they're frozen strawberries, you could use a bit less ice because it's going to be thick. If it's fresh strawberries, then you can use a bit less liquid because it's going to blend a lot easier. So either you reduce the liquid or you increase the ice to make it a good consistency, because no one wants a smoothie that's so runny that it just goes down. You want that perfect Vitamix texture where it's always that, you could sip it through a straw, but it's thick. So again, the milk, you got the protein, you have 1 cup to 1.5 cups of strawberries, fresh or frozen, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Organic is better, and unsalted as well. I do unsalted. And then also, I'll throw in a vanilla extract just for a bit of flavor, some stevia or some honey, raw organic honey. It depends. If you're trying to go low carb, then definitely go with stevia. If you don't care about that as much, then you can add honey or some natural sugar or agave syrup. And then depending on your blender, depending on the fresh ingredients, is the ice. So if you have a lot of fresh ingredients in there, you'll use a bit more ice so it gets thicker. If you have frozen strawberries in there, then you'll use a bit less ice. So let's say around 1 cup of ice. But it all depends on your blender and your preferences. But those are the flavors you're going to want to use. And sometimes I'll also throw in some strawberry jelly. It'll be the no sugar added strawberry, like natural strawberry jelly, which just adds a bit more of a strawberry flavor without any extra sugar. And then also, if you'd love to do this with blueberries, you're welcome to do blueberry instead of strawberry. That's a great combination as well. But it's like drinking a peanut butter jelly sandwich, but with protein, with probably less calories than just a sandwich, but overall way healthier as well.
Right, and the healthy fats as well.
Healthy fats, yep.
Yeah. What are your other sources of healthy fats in smoothies?
Avocado is big. Coconut is big. The thing with avocados I learned, which is really annoying, is that I'll buy a bag of avocados, and this is what happens. You buy a bag of avocados, you can't wait to use them. It takes 4 days for them to turn ripe, and then all of a sudden they're all ripe at the same time.
Yes.
And then they go bad. And you're like, well, I can't make 4 smoothies today. So avocados annoy me, but what I've learned to do is when they're ripe, open them up, cut them into small blocks, throw them in the freezer.
Nice.
Everything goes in the freezer that can go in the freezer. I'd rather do that than throw it out or let it go a day or two bad. And then now having this kind of moldy, rotten avocado.
Ew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So avocados are great for that. Coconut's great because nowadays you have the flakes, the unsweetened coconut flakes that can last months and months in the pantry. You have coconut milk, which comes in a can. You have this organic coconut milk I get from Trader Joe's for $1.50, which is amazing. Let's see, healthy fats. Of course, any type of nut. Walnuts are great. Pistachios, any sort of nut is great. The only thing I would say is that nuts are very, in a smoothie, if you throw nuts in, you got to really look at the amounts because just like peanut butter, 1 tablespoon is 100 calories. And it's very, very easy to throw in 4 or 5 tablespoons if you're trying to reach a specific level of flavor. If you really wanted to taste peanut buttery, you could throw in 4 or 5 tablespoons without even noticing. Then all of a sudden, you have 500 calories just from the peanut butter, not including the protein, not including the milk or the other ingredients. So really watch out in terms of the fats in smoothies. Definitely some chia seeds and hemp seeds as well, though.
Ooh, yes, absolutely. I definitely put ground up chia seeds in mine. I was just thinking, Dr. Wallach, the creator of Longevity, who I've been following for many years, he says that I just remembered it, he uses smoothies to help people lose weight, and he also uses smoothies to help people gain weight because he'll have people who come to him who are extremely underweight, and he just says you can keep adding you can keep adding calories and fat to your smoothies to gain weight. So there, if someone wants to gain weight with smoothies, they could just add that, a cup of peanut butter.
Absolutely. And remember, when I worked at Smoothie King, there was one smoothie which tasted amazing. It was so amazing. It was called the Hulk, which it was our weight gain smoothie. It had almost every ingredient possible. It had ice cream, had weight gain powder, had strawberries in the syrup, in this strawberry syrup, had all these other little powders and wheat germ and all this. But it was 1,000 calories for a 20 ounce. 2,000 calories for our biggest size, which was the 40 ounce. But think about that. 40 ounces, 2,000 calories, and you can easily up and that doesn't even include peanut butter. Peanut butter wasn't in that smoothie. You could easily add a couple spoons and get that up to 2,500. So if you're looking to gain weight, oh my God, I envy you. I really envy you because if you get a blender and you're looking to gain weight, the world is your oyster. It's seriously your oyster. Throw in the protein, but then after the protein, it's all the fats you want. You could throw in coconut and peanut butter, and because you don't need to chew it, it's not like you have to chew 30 times for it to get in you. You have a much easier time of consuming a lot of calories than if you had to go through it. If it was a big fatty steak and you had to chew it, your jaw would get tired, you would get full, it would be slow. So that's the downside if you're trying to lose weight, is you got to make sure you're doing it right. You have to track this stuff because you can easily throw in a lot of fats and ruin your goal, destroy the whole point, which is to either have something that's going to maintain your weight or to lose weight. Mm-hmm. So watch out for that. But if you're looking to gain weight, oh my God, you are in for a great time.
That's awesome. Now you are on Instagram.
Yes.
And you post all your delicious smoothies there, I'm sure.
Yep, I do. Not all of them, but Instagram forces me to try new ones just so I can put it out there and present it to the world. So you're welcome to follow, to find the recipes on there. I always post the recipes as well as some of the health benefits of that specific smoothie. Okay, great.
And your handle, is it the Bradass or just Bradass?
It's the Bradass was taken, so I have to do the _Bradass.
Okay, and so that's the _ and that's BRADASS.
That's it.
Because your name's Bradley. I get it. It's cute. And so, I have a question. What about raw eggs? Do you put raw eggs in your smoothies, or do you recommend them? And people sometimes call them shakes. They're the same, right? Smoothies and shakes are the same.
When I think of protein shake, I think of a shaker cup with water or milk and just the protein, and you shake it up and drink it, and that's it. But a smoothie is thicker. It has ice. It's gone through a blender. Now, yes, you can make a shake with a blender, but it's usually just powder and milk. That's my definition of the two. If someone says, "Oh, can I have one of your shakes?" I'd be like, "Well, do you want a shake or do you want a smoothie?" Oh, a smoothie. So that's hopefully that's some clarification. That's a smoothie, and also shake could be a milkshake too. We have Shake Shack here, which is milkshakes. Yeah, we have milkshakes and all that. But then you have a place like Smoothie King, so you got smoothie. So that's some clarification. Egg. I've not tried eggs, like whole eggs in smoothies.
Yeah, like just raw eggs in your shake, in your smoothie.
I haven't tried it. I have tried egg whites. I used to use that as a base, which, it might sound gross, but because it's a smoothie and it has other flavors, you won't notice it. You could put in a cup of egg whites, throw in whatever other ingredients, some ice, and I doubt you would even guess. You'd even question the flavor. You'd be like, oh, it's probably water or milk. You wouldn't know. Not actual eggs, just because I love eating eggs so much. I have an omelet every day that I would be having way too many eggs. If I need a break. I need at least like 8-hour break.
Yeah, my husband and I got into adding raw eggs into our smoothies, and now actually quail eggs, because there's super healing properties in quail eggs, really, really high in healthy cholesterol. And if you go to, any of those Asian markets, they always sell quail eggs, and they're always sort of, my vegan friend goes, "Oh yeah, quail eggs are always in kung fu movies. Like you can tell, like, they're always like some healing guy in a kung fu movies using quail eggs."
Really?
But yeah, you should check out putting quail eggs in smoothies for the health benefits. My husband's kind of obsessed right now with adding them to his smoothies.
How many would you put in?
There is a ratio depending on, like, there's certain we got this from a friend of ours who helps people reverse chronic diseases, and he has this sort of, like, you give kids 1 to 2 a day, you give adults 4 to 6 a day. If someone's wanting to reverse Parkinson's or MS, they would take anywhere from 8 to 12 a day. So they had sort of a range. And you can get them at the Asian markets, and then they're kind of a pain to open. My husband
They're
had
tiny, right?
Sorry?
They're really small, right?
Oh yeah, they're tiny. They're totally tiny. You can't taste them when they're in your smoothie. But if you go on YouTube, my husband had to go on YouTube and see how to open a quail egg, and now he's perfected it. I think he uses a knife to open them, and then we noticed within days of adding them to our smoothies. My husband's more consistent with drinking smoothies than I am, just because I like to cook, but I also don't have any time, so I really should get back into smoothies. So I'm really glad I interviewed you today. Yeah. And so he has been really more consistent with the quail eggs, and within days it was way more energy, way more vitality. Like there was a big difference.
How many would your husband use per smoothie per day? Because I want to try this out now. I'm getting excited.
Okay, hold on. I gotta go. I'll go ask him. Okay, his answer is he does 8 a day.
Wow. Okay. So that's a big amount.
Well, they're tiny. They're really tiny, and he does like a 30-ounce smoothie once a day.
Okay.
And so he puts 8 in there, and then
how many come in a carton though?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be like a carton a day or half a carton a day?
No, we get like, I don't even know, because we get these little plastic things that hold the quail eggs, and I don't know if it would be different where you are, because we get them at a grocery store co-op here, and then in an Asian market they might sell them in a totally different sized case. But you should just try it for a week and see if you notice a difference. My husband noticed a huge difference, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, yeah. I see. Here's the thing: is there's only a certain amount of ingredients you can find until you start venturing elsewhere. So I'm always like, because Do you have Trader Joe's where you're at?
Yes, I love Trader Joe's. But mostly we shop like we go to Costco because there's so much organic there, especially frozen stuff. So Costco's big to me. We love Trader Joe's. We get
It's
their Trader Joe's has an organic cauliflowered rice
oh yeah,
cauliflower,
I think
and
it's new.
we
Isn't
love
it
that.
newer?
It
I
is.
just
It's
saw that.
newer. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
saw that
so
about a month
good.
or two ago. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. This
Yeah,
is sweet.
it's so delicious. We make like a rice stir fry with it, and it's so delicious. And I get totally filled up on it, and then I don't have to feel guilty because I didn't eat like 2 cups of rice. I ate 2 cups of
Yeah,
cauliflower,
right,
but it
right.
tastes
You
like
still
rice
have
to me. Yeah.
exactly. You have that texture. You have the same size. You're like, oh, okay, this is my pasta equivalent. You're
Yeah.
happy with it, and yet it's hardly any calories, and it's
Right.
vegetable, so you get those nutrients. But I love Trader Joe's. I'll just say I love Trader Joe's. The price is great. The people are friendly. It's walking distance for me. So many things add up, but the selection is limited
Mm-hmm.
in terms of you have the frozen fruits, and yes, they're organic, but it's just blueberries, berry blend, strawberries.
Right.
They have some cherries, nectarines, but you don't get that whole uh, giant variety where you can really experiment. Your experiments run out sooner than later because you can't. You need more influence than just Trader Joe's. So
You're
I'm glad.
you're gonna have to go to an Asian market now. You should get some bitter melon
What's
and
that?
some lychee
Lychees are
fruit.
great. Oh
Oh
yeah,
man,
lychees are
lychees are so good.
what's that horrible durian? Is it that it's horribly big, smelly fruit? It's you got to look it up because even cabs in Asia won't let you in the cab with it. There'll be signs saying no durian, and it's just this big melon with spikes on it.
Yes.
And if you've ever watched Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmern, that's one of the 3 foods in the world he can't stomach, and he's like anything but durian, and it smells. He tells everyone it smells like gym socks. It smells like gym socks, and it has a custardy texture, and it's just dreadful. But either way, you got to try it. You live, you learn.
Now I've got to try it. You made it sound so appealing.
Yeah, right. It's like a badge of honor if you try it. I just tried Vegemite for the first time last night. That was dreadful. You ever tried Vegemite?
No.
Horrible, horrible. I mean, you smell it and you think, okay, this will be perfect for taking the paint off my walls,
Oh my
not
gosh.
not for eating. And so, anyways, the girl I'm seeing had me try it. She's Australian. She had me try a bit of Vegemite. Okay. Anyway,
Oh man. Well, I'm from Canada and we don't have any weird smelling, Canadian foods. But your family's originally from South Africa. Do you have any South African influenced smoothies?
honestly, not one. I don't even know what it would be because in South Africa, it's very meat oriented, and I grew up in the States, so I was only 4 when I left, and then I went back for a few months, a couple years back. I don't even remember the fruits. I just remember it being ostrich burgers and antelope, and then biltong, which is their jerky, but they have jerky for 6 different animals or 7 different animals. So it's very barbecue oriented. Not a single fruit or vegetable in the 10 weeks I was there was new to me or I
Wow.
noticed. I'm sure there were a couple new ones. I just didn't notice it, but you know, I can't say anything inspired. I get my inspiration for what's at the grocery store and what flavors, appeal to me at the time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
for example, in summer, I'll have a couple smoothies with watermelon and cantaloupe because it's just available. There it is. Throw a watermelon in, and then let's just make a watermelon smoothie where it has some protein, but it has a light summer taste. Cantaloupe's great. Honeydew's great. Uh, what was the other one? There was something else I tried recently just because it was on sale. So a lot of times it's on sale. It's buy one, get one free. Let's try it in a smoothie. Add the protein, add the milk, and it's fresh because it's seasonal. And there you go.
Wow, I love the melons. I think that melon with some mint would be delicious too.
Oh yeah, yep.
Very
Mint's,
cool.
mint's a great little accent as well. Personally, I don't like mint. But if you have a chocolate smoothie, you add a bit of mint to that. That's wonderful as well. And it just tastes like a peppermint patty dessert with, of course, all the health benefits. But melon and mints, yeah, that's great.
Do you ever do stuff like basil and tomato, or like do you ever make a smoothie taste like, I want to make it taste like a mac and cheese, or I want to make it taste like a tomato soup, or I don't know. Do you kind of try to mimic smoothies based on types of food?
You know, there was one soup smoothie I made, and it was from this carrot ginger soup that I found at Trader Joe's. I was like, you know what? Carrot tastes good in a smoothie. Ginger is healthy and can taste good in a smoothie. Let me try that. And so I used the smoothie, the soup as a base, added protein. I believe I added a banana as well, a bit of more carrots and ice, and it was fine. It was good, but it's all about what's most important to you. And having a sweet tooth, to me, it's more about having it taste like dessert always. If I wanted a sandwich, I really want to eat a sandwich, not drink a sandwich. It's like, I want a pina colada. I want a Reese's peanut butter cup. I don't allow myself to have real dessert that often. Once or twice a week, I'll have a slice of cake. But besides that, I want my daily smoothie to be my dessert fix. To have, strawberry banana, it was sweet, it tastes great. That's what I look for. But you can also make spicy smoothies, which I have tried. A cayenne mango smoothie, which has the sweetness of mango and then just a touch of cayenne pepper, which adds a very unique combination because you're drinking something cold, yet it's spicy. And then so you're like, oh, I want to sip more because it's spicy. But then you're not getting it's like, oh, you just keep finishing it because it's sweet and then it's spicy and then, oh, it's too spicy. Let me have something to drink. So you take another sip. But then it's spicy, and all of a sudden, it's great if there's like really healthy things and you don't want to enjoy it, you just want to get through it like a chore. You keep drinking it because you want something to cleanse your palate of the spiciness, but then it just keeps getting spicier and spicier. So if you're in a time rush, try that because you'll get through a smoothie in 2 minutes.
That's great. Tell us about your Ultimate Smoothie Guide, your ebook.
The Ultimate Smoothie Guide was something I wrote last February after a lot of people, clients of mine, friends, family, people said, look, why don't you just write everything down that you've learned? Because you just keep telling us about it. Just write it all down and release it to whoever wants to get it. So I spent a good month just putting everything together, including a lot of my older recipes that were off of Instagram with the pictures attached. And it has 50 recipes, but the big part is the blueprint for making smoothies, why protein's important, why my smoothies are different than others that you'd get at Jamba Juice or Smoothie King, and how to avoid all those sugars, what ingredients to focus on and what ingredients to avoid at all costs unless you don't care about health, you just want flavor. And so I recommend people read that part more and then create their own smoothies. But it was just a way for me to write down everything over the last 13 and a half, 14 years of smoothie making that I have learned. How, thickness, the consistencies, how to take it with you, how the cost breaks down for a smoothie that you make yourself versus one that you buy at one of these cafes. So I'm just proud of it because now I don't have to regurgitate it to everyone that asks.
Yeah, I love it.
Here's the guide. It's free. Take it, read it, create your own recipe. Let me know a recipe that I don't have that I could try myself because it really is just a combination of whatever you want to throw in the jar. So there's a lot of recipes I wish people would tell me about so I can try. Just like your quail egg.
Yeah.
Recipe.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to try it.
You should start a Facebook group for all your followers. You guys can swap stories and share recipes together. That's the following all my favorite marketers. That's what they're doing now. Everyone's starting Facebook groups with their customers or communities, and then you can really get in touch with them, and figure out what they want and what they need, and then you can create your more books or more products for them based on what they're asking you for.
It's a
So
great idea.
yeah, you should definitely do that, especially because you're so knowledgeable around social media. Now, someone could go and buy your book, Ultimate Smoothie Guide, for $9.99 on Amazon, but if they go to your website, they can get it for free. So it's the bradass.com.
Thebradass.com
Yes.
/free. Or if
Awesome.
you just go to thebradass.com, you'll see the Ultimate Smoothie Guide in one of the tabs. And it's literally name, email, and what are you looking to achieve. And if it's weight loss, if it's more energy, if it's building muscle, then I give you the guide, but I also say refer to this, or I specifically recommend adding protein, more protein for this, or really watching out for these ingredients as you lose weight, whatever. It's just a way for me to give you some more personalized advice, because I really hope you take the time to read it. It's about, I want to say 150 Kindle pages, but that's only 50 normal pages. And a good amount of that are recipes. So if you just read the blueprint, you will be off to the races to make your own.
Fantastic. And then you have 3 actionable things that you can teach our listeners. I'd love for you to get into that.
Okay, so would you like this smoothie related or anything related?
Well, it's based on your expertise.
Okay.
'Cause you're not you are like the smoothie. I don't want to call you smoothie king, but you're like
Yeah. That's a good
you're the
title. I like
smoothie guy. But you're also a health coach and a certified personal trainer. So you really help people achieve their health goals.
it. Absolutely. And it also goes down to my story as well, where it's cliche, but you need to change your mind to get anything changed in life. And it goes with losing weight or achieving whatever it is in career. So one of the best things I do in the morning is I will always start with positive affirmations for a couple minutes, and it'll just be like, "Brad, you are effing amazing," or whatever it is. It'll change day to day, but I'll say it, and then next time I say it, I'll say it with a bit more emphasis and a bit more emphasis, to the point where I'll just do it for 2 to 3 minutes, where I'm pumping myself up for the day. I'm worthy of an awesome day. Today's going to be great. Everything's going to happen. I'll sometimes even jump up and down while I say it. I know Tony Robbins preaches pumping up the energy, just changing your outlook and starting the day like that. And I've noticed when I say, I only eat healthy, I only book big jobs, I only am loving today, I'm only doing this, I start the day right.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy how small just this little action doesn't cost any money. It takes 3 minutes of time, jumping up and down, getting enthused, just doing it on purpose, how that will switch the gear in your mind. And all of a sudden, when you walk to the fridge, if you've said, I am healthy, I only do healthy things, I exercise, I eat clean, and you say it with enthusiasm to the point where you believe it, so much easier to open that fridge and pick out ingredients for a smoothie or a salad or something healthy than go to the cabinet and get a bag of chips. It's so easy. So I would definitely start the day with some positive affirmations and say it until you actually believe it. Say it with as much enthusiasm as you can. And that could take 3 minutes, it could take 5 minutes, but start your day like that. See, another actionable step, surround yourself with people that you want to be around. If you're looking to be fit, it's going to be way harder to be around unhealthy people and achieve your goals. Look out, search for a mentor, search on Meetup or some sort of group of people that are either looking to achieve the same thing or have already achieved it. You need that community. And that's why any goal, especially losing weight, can be really tough if you're in a family. Like my family was very unhealthy, so it was even tougher. It was a big uphill climb because I would always be around pizza and garlic bread and brownies, and they didn't care. While I had to go around my friends, I had to be around my friends a lot more than my family because my friends were doing sports and had healthy parents. So be around as healthy people as you can, or people that match the goals that you want to achieve.
I agree with you, and um, I would also add to that if you're afraid that your family won't join you in your health journey, do not let that be an excuse, because I have used that excuse in my past. Like, oh, my husband wouldn't do that, so I'm not even going to bother trying, And in the end, when I dropped that excuse, I was able to passionately share with my husband, and he got excited with me, and he joined me in and doing things like cutting out ice cream, cutting out dairy, cutting out sugar, cutting out, one at a time. We were able to cut bad stuff out of our life, but I, for several years, did continue to eat unhealthfully because I was blaming my husband. I said, "Oh well, he would never do it, so I'm not going to do it because it's still going to be in the house and it's going to be really hard and da 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 da." And it was all my mental talk, but I really sabotaged myself because I wouldn't take the steps forward, because I was blaming people in my household, where it's like, no, no, no. It's, yes, it's harder if the pizza and the pasta is in front of you in the house, and you just don't know if they might join you. If you start it, they might follow. And even if they don't, like you said, you can join meetup groups, you can go to the gym and find, gym partners and stuff like that, so you can be surrounded by people, at least some of the time, that have the same health goals. I absolutely think that that's critical. Doing it on your own is so hard.
It's so hard. And another thing to consider too is when you turn that victim and that excuse mentality into, you know what, I'm going to be the example, and then your husband followed. How about think of it as, my family might not join me, but when they see how healthy I am, when they see how much energy I am and how happy I am, maybe then they'll be like, you know what, how'd you do that? We want to change our ways.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're waiting for you to be the example. And
Mm-hmm.
if you just change your mentality to, you know what, I'm better than that. I will be the example. I can stare at this pasta all day long and not eat it because I'm looking at them eat it and they're unhealthy and they don't have much energy. I'm better than that. I'm gonna show them, and I will be their savior, so to speak. 6 months from now, when I have the body I want, when I feel the way I deserve to feel, and they're looking to me for advice. So think of it, you got to just change your mind. Just got to change your mind at the start, and then the habits will follow. But I completely agree with you. And that's the one more thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, one more thing. I want to think of something very original, but it really is very cliche. So let's say if it's losing weight or even gaining weight, you really have to know exactly what you are consuming.
Mm-hmm.
So that means download my fitness app or a similar My Fitness Pal, excuse me, or
Yeah.
a similar app, and really just for 1 week put in exactly what you eat and be honest with the measurements. Get a measuring cup, get measuring spoons. You don't want to just drizzle on oil and butter and guess that it's a tablespoon, because that's one of the easiest ways to underestimate your calories. Oh, that's a tablespoon of olive oil. No, it's actually 2.5. Well, that's 150 to 170 calorie difference right there. And if you do that twice a day, okay, 300 just off that. Just take 1 week and you'll understand, you know what, wow, lunch, I have a huge lunch, and it's only because of this mayonnaise that has so many calories. You know what, if I have a reduced fat mayonnaise here, and if I skip that soda and have a sparkling water instead for dinner, man, that's 500 calories difference right there. Imagine how easy that would be. It could be a lot easier than you think, rather than thinking, oh my God, my whole diet has to change. I've got to
Right.
completely start new. I can't have a sandwich. I can't have this. It could just be a couple small things, but you have to know what you're putting in to understand where you can go from there.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you. My Fitness Pal is a fantastic app. I've used it many times. And I liked how it's evolved. So, and it's so true that we can do little things. Like, I read somewhere that if Americans were to cut one soda out, they would lose 13 pounds a year or so, something crazy like that. I mean, just one soda, or like you said, switch to sparkling. And there's some great flavored sparkling beverages. Dr. Wallach, however, says avoid all carbonated beverages with meals, because carbonated beverages will neutralize stomach acid, which makes it hard to digest. Luckily with smoothies though, it's easier to digest, right? Because it's broken down more.
Right. And then so that's the thing with it gets in your system a lot quicker. And so that's why I find protein very important so that you feel full, because if it doesn't have protein, you can just have 60 ounces like nothing, and then that's bad. So you have to remember you need to look at the ingredients going in, because it will be easier to digest. You may not get as full naturally off of a smoothie. So just be careful with that. But as long as you know what's going in, the amounts, you'll be fine. One more thing when we're talking about one more habit, this drives me crazy. When I go to a grocery store or Best Buy or one of these places, and people spend 5 to 10 minutes looking for the closest parking spot possible. If it's not pouring rain, if there's no hail, if it's a normal day, what are you doing spending so much time waiting for a spot that's 20 yards closer? I mean, just think of the mentality. You get to walk an extra 30 seconds each way, and you're fighting that by spending minutes looking for that spot that's a bit closer. So do that. Walk. Seriously. If it's a nice day outside, walk. Don't drive somewhere. Walk if you can. And you know what's? This would be number 5. One of the best things I've ever done in the last year was I dedicated to listen to one helpful podcast per day.
Yes, I love it. I love it. One of my mentors, I follow Andrew Warner of Mixergy podcast, and Andrew says, he posted on Facebook a while ago. We had a whole conversation around it that people listen to music in their car and it drives him nuts. He's like, you're in your car maybe 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours a day, 5 hours a day if you're in LA, right? But yeah. You're in your car. What are you doing listening to music? You could be feeding your mind. Listen to podcasts. Get not the like Welcome to Night Vale. I mean, not the
not sports
entertainment stuff, but get Mixergy is a great one. Obviously my podcast is a great one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But shameless self-promotion. But listen to podcasts that feed your mind, that make you a better person. My husband and I listen to books on tape when we drive. Also, we listen to podcasts and books on tape. And we were listening to one chapter today after dropping our kid off at daycare, and it was like it completely expanded our world. To listen to this one chapter, it has completely expanded our minds, and it's just like we wouldn't have got that if we were listening to the classic rock station,
And the thing is, and here's the thing: I'm not saying don't ever listen to music, because I love music, but if you listen to one podcast a day in the field that you're interested in learning about. For example, one day I listen to real estate investing podcast.
Wow.
One day it's inspirational. One day it's health and fitness. And every day has a different theme. But in the morning, I start up. By 10 a.m., I've meditated. I've made my smoothie for the day. I've pumped myself up with positive affirmations. And now I've legitimately learned something about a field I'm interested in while making my smoothie, while getting changed, while doing all these things. That's why podcasts, I mean, not to, sound so weird about it, but podcasts are great because you can be getting ready for the day or driving or doing something else that's menial while feeding your brain this great information. While I do love reading and recommend it to everyone, you have to be focused on reading. Do not be driving and reading, do not do that. But driving and listening to a podcast, or at the pool, laying out, enjoying summer, listening to a podcast, and be like, wow, I laid out, got a tan, and I learned a lot about digestion, or how to lose weight, or how to save money, or whatever it is you're interested in. It's just 1 year of doing that. I try for a month or even a week if you think that's too long. But once you do it for a consistent amount of time, you will be like, wow, I wish I didn't listen to so much music because it just didn't help me.
Right. Because health is not just our physical body. Our health is emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic. and our mind needs to be fed. I remember being really good at math when I was in school, but when I left school and I didn't do math every day, um after a few years I noticed that I'm not as quick at it. I can't just like do complex equations in my head anymore. And I'm just like, hey, I used to be a little calculator when I was in high school. Like, what's going on? It's because I stopped using it. Like, if we don't use our mind, if you don't take your mind to the mental gym, we lose it. One of my friends suffers from a disease that gives her chronic pain occasionally, and the chronic pain is so bad she actually noticed that she loses her mental acuity. And so she started doing 2 hours a day of she takes her brain to the mental gym. There's all these like apps that you can get for brain stimulation and like testing and memory and stuff like that. And she actually can see her scores improve. So she sees her memory improve, and her, the speed of her ability to solve problems improve. And then when she notices, like when she eats unhealthfully, her brain acuity goes down. When she doesn't get enough sleep, her brain acuity goes down. When she is in chronic pain, it goes down. And then when she eats healthy, it goes back up. And so she can actually track how mentally healthy she is, based on everything she's doing in her life, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and we didn't touch on how important, we're talking about losing fat and gaining muscle, and what a lot of people, especially here in LA, come for. But you're right, just the mental sharpness, the vitamin D, the different nutrients you get when you eat healthy and take the proper supplementation. Because there's no point of looking great if you feel bad, if you feel sluggish, if you have poor memory or poor focus. But that's great for her. And I've heard of a couple of these. I don't know if it's an app or a website that has it offers a workout for your brain, or markets itself as a workout for your brain. I don't know what
brain
it's
gym
called.
Or something, mental gym.
Yeah. But it's true. As an adult, you don't face these puzzles and these problems that you do as you would when you're growing up and you're taking these tests. As an adult, it's more like, well, how am I going to find time to pick up the kids and the dry cleaning before dinner reservations?
Right.
So that's
well, I know how to find time. I get a smoothie.
That's it. I mean, you don't have to stop for a snack. You don't have to stop for a meal.
Right, exactly. I'm on the go with my smoothie and my thermos.
That's it. And then the actual thermos I use is in the book, and I believe I mentioned it on my Instagram as well. But it's just a thermos that you can get on Amazon or any of these sites. Mine's the biggest one because I want to say it's 48 ounce, because I'm a big dude. I drink a huge smoothie, but then they have it in different sizes. But it lasts all day. We're talking 8 hours. Make it in the morning, 8 hours later, boom, there it is when you're coming home from work. And,
Very cool. Awesome. Well, I definitely am going to check you out on Instagram and follow you. I'm going to have all the links to everything that Bradley does in the show notes of today's podcast, so you'll be able to follow him too. Definitely recommend checking out Bradley's Ultimate Smoothie Guide, the free ebook, if you go to his website, thebradass.com. I'd love for you to end today's interview with something that you could challenge our listeners to do, something from today and for the next 7 days. Challenge our listeners to shift something in their life to improve their health.
I'd love to go with the smoothie route and say make a smoothie every day. But
well, we're going to do that anyway. Like, it just sounds way too delicious to pass up.
Yeah, definitely do that. But it all starts in your mind. Any change you want, start in your mind. And that's where I would just say, in the morning, start your day off right with positive affirmations for 5 minutes. Let's say 5 minutes of positive affirmations and 5 minutes of just meditating. I'd love to just pick one, but both of them are really important, because the way you start your day sets the tone for the rest of the day. So do not get started with your day looking at your email to see that a deadline has been pushed up, or you didn't get that promotion or something bad. Start your day right. Wake up, say, today's going to be a great day. I'm a healthy person. I'm full of energy. Life is amazing. Only great things are coming my way. And then just spend 5 minutes sitting down and meditating and focusing on yourself and just your breath, and then start the day. And hopefully after 7 days, you'll love it so much that you'll continue that for the next several years.
Awesome. Bradley, how long have you been doing that?
About 3 years. And of course, I've missed a couple days. But if I don't meditate in the morning, I'll meditate at night. I try and do this one meditation that I read about where you actually, when you breathe in, you focus on abundance and you focus on appreciation. You just close your eyes, you breathe in, and you concentrate on the feeling that you feel when you really are grateful, and then you breathe out. And it's really powerful. It's crazy, but 5 minutes, you're like, wow, life is great. And then, of course, hopefully good news comes your way. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes, just a normal day turns into a great day with that outlook.
I love it. I love it. All right, let's take you up on that challenge. I absolutely believe that we can shift our life by shifting our outlook. So fantastic. It's been such a pleasure having you on the show, Bradley. I'd love to have you on again in the future, possibly when you have another book come out or something. Please come back and share with us.
Absolutely, Ashley. Thank you so much. It's been a great time. And thanks for telling me about these quail eggs. I want to know more ingredients. So if you have any more ingredients I should include, let me know, and I'll gladly give it a shot.
All right. And listeners, if you have any ingredients for Bradley to try, you should check him out on Instagram, _Bradass.
That's it. Yep. The _Bradass.
Yeah, let him know. Let's see what kind of weird ingredients we can get him to try into smoothies.
Yeah, tell me some concoctions too, good or bad. I mean, not blatantly bad, but I mean, questionable. I'll give it a shot and let you know if it turned out good or not.
Fantastic. All right, you'll be our guinea pig. Thank you so much, Bradley.
All right, thanks, Ashley.
Are you looking to optimize your health? Are you looking to get the best supplements at the lowest price? For high quality supplements and to talk to someone about what supplements are best for you, go to takeyoursupplements.com and one of our fantastic true health coaches will help you pick out the right supplements for you that are the highest quality and the best price. That's takeyoursupplements.com. takeyoursupplements.com. That's takeyoursupplements.com. Be sure to ask about free shipping and our awesome referral program.